In the Blade Runner world, artificial humans called replicants exist. They're built to be slaves and look exactly like humans. When one escapes or becomes too self-aware, they're killed by bounty hunters or police officers called Blade Runners. Blade Runner 2049 has a rival director Denis Villeneuve in the director's chair and sets up Ryan Gosling as the enigmatic replicant leading the movie. It has even more spectacular visuals than the original and has a gumshoe noir plot worthy of its setting. But there are still some issues that hold it back from being a revival on par with something like Mad Max, Fury Road or Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Why should you care? It's the long-awaited sequel to one of the most beloved sci-fi movies of all time. The first Blade Runner movie was released in 1982, when Harrison Ford was known as Han Solo and Indiana Jones. Ridley Scott had just made Alien, and adventurous sci-fi movies were in demand. Blade Runner updated the plotty and romantic noir stories of the 1940s and 50s for the age of action-heavy science fiction. It gave it the intellectual credibility of Philip K. Dick, who wrote the existential novel the movie is based on, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The movie also leaves a major question unanswered, debated by fans to this day. Is Deckard, Harrison Ford's character, himself a replicant? And will that be answered in a sequel? Blade Runner got mixed reviews upon release and never spawned a franchise like Star Wars, Alien, and The Terminator, partly because Scott and the studio were at odds over the cut released in theaters. But over the years, it became more and more influential and grew a cult following. Now, after decades, we have a sequel. What's hot? The mystery plot and stunning visuals. In Blade Runner 2049, Ryan Gosling plays a replicant police officer, an obedient android who hunts down the earlier models who have free will. During the course of his job, he stumbles upon a secret that threatens to shake the foundations of the balance between replicants and humans. While he tries to resolve it, he also goes on a personal journey to find his place in the world. Gosling is great at this kind of thing. As Drive, Blue Valentine, and La La Land attest, he's great at conjuring moody reflection about grand ideas of love and life without too much speechifying. It's a quality he shares with Harrison Ford. Ford himself appears late in the movie, and Villeneuve uses his age to the same melancholic effect J.J. Abrams used in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Jared Leto does a slick job as the sinister villain obsessed with James Tyrrell, even though he's blind. Sylvia Hoeks, a Dutch actress, is introduced to American audiences as Leto's henchwoman and dominates the scenes she's in. Carla Juri has a small but essential role, and she's perfect in it. The corners of Robin Wright's mouth, she plays Gosling's character's boss, have more acting ability than most of Los Angeles. And Barkhad Abdi, who unfortunately isn't getting cast in enough movies, is a delight in a small scene. The original Blade Runner was praised for its dystopian world of futuristic Los Angeles, perpetually dark and covered in neon advertisements. Blade Runner 2049 steps it up with her like AI companions, holograms, and a really big Sony logo. The company produced the movie. Villeneuve's arrival had beautiful landscape shots and special effects. For Blade Runner 2049, he teamed up with production designer Dennis Gassner and Roger Deakins, one of the world's greatest living cinematographers, responsible for the look of Skyfall and No Country for Old Men. Deakins also worked as a visual consultant on WALL-E and How to Train Your Dragon. He's long overdue for an Oscar, and his work on this movie is worthy of one.